Well, the results have been rolling in all night. Despite some candidates claiming victories, not all races have been called.
Yeah, several candidates are banking on mail-in ballots that still need to be counted. But we want to get to the presidential race. Today in New York's Rana Novini's in the newsroom with what both candidates said overnight. Rana, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Darlene and Michael. Yeah, we're still awaiting results in a lot of key states, and there's a chance that we won't know the clear winner of the presidential election today or maybe even tomorrow. Even so, President Trump is trying to claim he won several key states that are still too close or too early to call. Take a look at the latest Electoral College map with projections from NBC News. As it stands, Donald Trump has 213 Electoral College votes. Joe Biden has 220. And keep in mind, candidates need 270 to win. Many states, again, still tabulating those votes, including mail-in ballots, and these races are just too early to call. Some notable states that have been called: NBC News projects that Trump wins Florida, Ohio, and Texas. Joe Biden projected to win Colorado, Virginia, and Minnesota. We are still waiting for projections in some key states, including Georgia, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Arizona. We heard earlier from both candidates this morning. We heard from Joe Biden, who said his campaign believes they're on track to win this election. And with millions of legitimate votes still to be counted, President Trump falsely claims an effort to steal the election.
We knew because of the unprecedented early vote and the mail-in vote that it was going to take a while. We're going to have to be patient until the hard work of tallying the votes is finished. And it ain't over till every vote is counted, every ballot is counted.
This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
That's the president there trying to claim victory, though, again, the winner of this presidency has not yet been determined. We will continue to keep track of the votes as they come in. Key battleground states to watch: Pennsylvania with 20 Electoral College votes. They have several days to count mail-in ballots, so we may not have a definitive result from them until everything is counted. Same story in Michigan and Wisconsin. We are expecting some final results from Milwaukee to come in around 6 a.m., so just about 2 hours. So that could give us a better picture of what is happening in Wisconsin. And we can expect also some legal challenges. The Trump campaign's legal team is expected to challenge the validity of many of these mail-in ballots in critical states like Pennsylvania. That is something that the president called for again when he spoke this morning. Darlene and Michael, back to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Rana. We appreciate that update. Well, you might have some questions about the comments that the president just made hours ago.
So join us again this morning for some analysis is Hofstra University constitutional law professor James Sample. Professor Sample, thanks for joining us. You heard the president's comments just there. What's your reaction?
Well, Michael, good morning to you. The president's comments are dangerous, dishonest, and un-American. He may well win this election. On that, I defer to the expertise of Steve Kornacki and most of all to the American people. But win or lose the election, the president's irresponsible, false comments this morning undermine the rule of law, they undermine the Constitution, and they set democracy back in our country by centuries. I echo the comments of the longtime and most prominent Republican election lawyer in the business for the last 3 decades, Ben Ginsberg, just this morning, who said there is no legal basis for a claim yet. If there are challenges to particular ballots or particular processes in particular jurisdictions, particular states, then bring those cases and go through the regular process. But the president's comments about going directly to the Supreme Court, and there is no case yet, much less any case that could go directly to the Supreme Court, which simply does not exist in this context. The president's comments set back our democracy this morning.
And Professor Sample, the president's done this sort of thing before, obviously not exactly this thing, but he does these things and people come out and say that he's undermining democracy and that these are false claims, and then there are no consequences. Really nothing happens. So what if it goes further and he continues on this streak that he's on this morning in terms of what he's saying and claiming?
Well, Darlene, you know, the reality is Americans are sometimes short on attention span. We're all guilty of it. And the president, I think, thrives on our short attention spans, because if he wins this election, and he may win it on a proper basis, but if he wins this election, many, many Americans will simply forget about these comments. But what he described in his remarks, and he said a sad group of people is trying to thwart, you know, their votes. It's a sad day for democracy when, for the first time in American history, a president is trying to declare victory, is actually declaring victory, and is delegitimizing the very process of counting millions, literally millions, of validly cast votes by American citizens. So your question is a very, very good one, and it's a very serious one. And the question goes back to what Benjamin Franklin said at the founding. What have we wrought? A republic, if we can keep it. It's our responsibility to keep it.
It certainly is. All right, Professor Sample, we really love having you on, so hopefully we'll talk to you again in just a bit. Thanks so much.
Thanks.